You have so much love inside of you that you cannot access in your present form within density. This is caused by a shutting down of the full flow of the eternally flowing heart light. Like a clogged dam, this shutdown is caused by fear. You believe it has not been safe to open this flow while walking as a human. You are not aware of the deeper layers of these fears buried within you. You have mistaken yourself and believed that you were lacking or missing parts of yourself, and sought to have these parts fulfilled by others, thinking that finding external love from another was the answer to meeting these needs. But you will find only yourself on the journey back to wholeness. When you awaken to realize you are nothing but love at your core, at your essence, you realize all the illusions and wounding of love are but sad dreams. There is no heartbreak possible in the perfected divine heart. Yet you have sequestered your great heart away. It takes immense energy to turn off and constrict your inherent divine life force in this way. This unnatural contraction of your God-given energy is at the root of many of your diseases of the body, mind, and emotions. There is no loss possible in the infinite whole of creation, yet you fear loss. I cannot love fully because it will not last, you say. How can love end? Only a false notion of attachment can end. Divine love is eternal and stays constant across all dimensional time-space experience. There is no such thing as rejection, and yet you put on costumes to play roles that give you higher value and worthiness. You seek to be chosen as lovable. The idea of being chosen by a masculine has validated the feminine identity for much time on your planet. The symbol of the promised ring of matrimony is longed for because you carry this old idea of validation in your ancestral memory. To be chosen was to be seen. How much is spent on the glamorous wedding that, showcasing this choosing, has no real foundation of love? There is nothing to sustain an enduring sacred union of equality. In the old energy of density, the feminine could not exist on her own. The feminine could only exist because of her relationship to those who chose her to care for them. In her roles as wife, mother, daughter, grandmother, caretaker of all, she accepted this limitation of identity to avoid the idea of rejection and separation. Can you not see the fallacy of your games? One way the feminine adopted a role to increase her value to others was a pattern of overgiving and becoming as a martyr. She would hold this purpose towards her lover, her spouse, her children, and others around her. In this capacity, her vocation became a sole focus to save others by over-caretaking and over-focus on the needs of others to the exclusion of her own. She becomes the great giver of life, of sustenance, of care, the angelic lover, mother, caregiver who develops an identity through her unyielding focus on others. She has no boundaries because she seeks to merge with others in an unhealthy way, to carve out a sense of self in the union of energy. This distortion of the feminine disappears into the other. She merges in a way that she can be consumed into the other without maintaining her own sovereign self. I am the Mrs. behind my spouse. I am a mother to these children. I am the maid, cook, caregiver. In this way, an identity can be formed from the reflection and merging with the other. But this is not a true union of two beings. It is a submersion and a loss of identity. And what was gained from this strategy of the martyr? The role garnered admiration for her self-sacrifice and the selfless burden she carried for those she loved. This feminine was obsessed with fixing, over-caretaking and doing for others, over-correcting, over-fixating, and seeking to change others under the guise of making them better. Her eyes were set upon the development and care of those around her, to the exclusion of looking within herself. She cannot turn her view upon herself for fear of what she sees and feels there. She cannot face the emptiness within her that forces her to throw her attention always outside of herself. She cannot endure the sense of void that appears when others no longer need her and depend on her for everything. Who is she when others are not reflecting her selfless martyr identity upon her? She has neglected herself so entirely, denying her own needs and wants, so that others can feel fulfilled. But she is empty, and she is manipulating in the most hidden sort of way. She fosters codependency. Asserting others will fall apart without her. Nothing will get done. The world cannot continue to function without her competency. This gives her a sense of purpose and identity that crumbles when others outgrow this need or desire for her constant, doting attention. This is a distortion of the Great Mother energy, a wound of empty identity that can only find its value through adopting the mask of the saintly, selfless one. A truly selfless being is without needing validation or the dependency upon the admiration of others to prop up the sense of worth. True selflessness has a boundary of self-knowing. It knows it cannot be diminished or divided. A divine selflessness does not allow itself to be extinguished and merged into others in a way that is self-harming. It understands union and sovereignty as one unified principle of consciousness. A divine sense of giving knows it has access to endless life force. There is no loss, no diminishment, no depletion. Few beings have accessed this well of eternal light and can pour it upon the world in true selflessness. We now release the martyr savior, the mother wound of melding the identity into the over-caretaker and savior of others. For she is an empty shell. We release the feminine who does not know her value simply by the nature of being and taking breath. The divine feminine learns that her presence alone is enough. She does not need to perform this role of false saintliness to gain a purpose or value or to be loved. Underneath the one wearing the mask of martyr savior will grow a resentment that her own needs are unmet, that she has no freedom and cannot take any time or energy for herself. Her energy is draining from her, and she will feel this deeply in her eventual exhaustion. She begins to resent the ones she has trained to depend on her. This ancestral role was one many wives, mothers, grandmothers, and caretakers took on to show they were meeting the false feminine criteria and that they had value. Can you imagine, dear one, that your value is in your very essence and being, not in your doing? You need do nothing to be admired and loved, for your precious soul is beloved. Whatever your experience on this earth, whatever game of forgetting you are playing, you are always known and valued at the highest as a daughter of Mother, Father, Source. You are your own savior only The idea of care as an obligation is not in alignment with the light of eternal giving. The Great Mother is the personal face of divinity. In her unending flow, she gives and nurtures because she is the inexhaustible creatrix, tending her creation with great love. The martyr gives from a sense of emptiness and a need for validation. She lacks a core identity and builds her foundation of self from the reflection of need and adoration that others give to her. The great illusion that others should depend on you so much. Where does this originate? Is it a need for validation? Is it a belief in your own unworthiness outside of the role you play? Is it a way to receive attention and praise for your perceived suffering and sacrifice? In this feminine distortion, there is an attachment to the other that is so imbalanced that she cannot let the other soul stand on its own power and light. She secretly disempowers others as a way to avenge her own disempowerment. The false mother, wife, martyr hovers to reflect others' weakness and helplessness, assumes they are not strong, leads them to believe they are meek and must be protected at all times and from all things. Each soul must find the path of challenge and tempering that wields its divine power. To block and avoid this tempering experience of another's lessons is to stifle the evolution of life itself. This is contrary to the divine law of correspondence, the law of balanced states. As above, so below, as within, so without. When the feminine is weak and disempowered from lack of a sovereign identity, so too does she passively deliver this weakness onto those she cares for. It cripples life, even as it nurtures it, which yields nothing. A feminine nurturing from fear, and lack of self-knowing cannot sustain the evolution of life in harmony. With each stitch of weaving life, she unravels it still. No fabric will form. No tapestry will unfold the story of creation. Today, dear woman, step away from this ancestral pattern and wash away the idea that you must perform and overgive to be needed and valued. You find your feminine value in your very essence, within your innocent, loving heart. Shakaya no 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 ko ya. Untethered from the idea sharanato, that heartbreak or loss or rejection are possible. Tikashuk oe, tikashuk oe. Now you can open your true heart. The inexhaustible heart that is ever flowing. The heart that trusts that there are times for care, but that this care is always an exchange. When energy is balanced, there is an exchange, and each participant acknowledges what they are giving and receiving in a flow. How many children and spouses in this old wounded feminine dynamic were spoiled into selfishness, thinking they are the center of attention always. Never learning or expected to give and reciprocate energetic flow. Never taking risks of growth, but becoming overly cautious and following the same limited path of survival as the ancestors. This is how the wounded feminine stifles and strangles life. Even as she is supporting and caretaking. Weakness can only breed weakness. Imbalance can only bring more imbalance. When there is giving only, then the energy is not sustainable. When there is taking only, the energy is not sustainable. It will not endure, and the imbalance will show itself. For the martyr, this lack will appear as she is ever giving and then closing the door to receive in return. Overgiving drains and leaks the life force. It dulls the inner fire. There is no replenishing fuel to keep the fire strong and bright and vibrant. Exhaustion and depletion appear. Energy is consumed rather than replenished. Anger and resentment will begin to fester internally and rot the intention of care. Sacred feminine, now it's time to lay down the ancient roles of the martyr. The sacrificial lamb that gives all and receives not in return. Is this pattern within you? Is this within your mother? Is this within your grandmother? Where in your matriarchal line can you see and feel this distortion of love? Feel your sovereign essence as a flame of pure love that is eternal, and know that this abundant gift cannot burn out. This flame is one that must be fostered within you. When this light is reborn, then the true feminine nurturing river flows effortlessly. There's no strain, obligation, or sense of loss or resentment. Let go of others and let them rise in their own way, in their own time, or let them fall and find their own truth for the falling. Sometimes we all must be shattered in order to find a new pattern, a new way of being that is truer to our inner template of divinity. Let go and let live, feminine wisdom keeper. Remember to replenish your own well. Look within yourself. See what gifts are waiting for you to discover. Become your own keeper, your own wife and lover, your own mother and father. Give to yourself and open to receive the abundance of your inner being that provides for all. Know that it is source that sustains life. A mother, martyr, savior disconnected from the eternal flow of source is playing creator in a way that is not sustainable or real. We cannot protect, care for, or give everything to others and exclude ourselves from love and care without creating great imbalance in life. Remember where true care resides. With source, and step away from false notions that you are holding anything or anyone up at all. Let go and let live, daughters. Trust life. Trust yourself. Trust others. Find yourself within, and there you will find your true strength, unending, eternal. Open your heart and let the flow of the eternal rivers of life. Embrace the world with their endless currents, of immortal love,
Hea da da tuya. And now we release Hashai Lagatutukuya, lifting the third seal. Hashatutukuya. Kakalakatananukuya. Be free, daughter. Hashadadoya. Be free, Hashake. Heshatukuya Nayakaya. I am the great Sophia. Wisdom Hashadatukulokuya Niyeshaye. Hekotoya ya 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 shoy. Blessed be Ashakaya. Blessed be Ashakaya. Blessed be Ashakaya. Oh yeah.